been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go back up. It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go.
Hello. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you so much for your patience and welcome to another episode of Insights of a Survivor. My name is PJ. I first want to begin by I want to acknowledge that today's episode will cover sensitive topics, including domestic violence and healing journey. Some content may be sensitive or triggering for others to listen for other listeners who have experienced trauma. So please take care of yourself while listening. Pause if you need to. Reach out for support and prioritize your well-being. So, like I said, welcome back to another episode of Insights of a Survivor. And again, I am PJ. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. This podcast isn't just about stories, it's about survival, resilience, and power, the power of rising even when life tries to break you. Every episode, we will dive into the raw, real experiences of those who have faced the worst and still found a way to heal and grow. Silence, heal, grow, and thrive. Silence is a weapon that has been used against survivors for far too long. We're told to keep quiet. We're told to protect those who hurt us, and we are told to avoid making a scene, making a big deal. You know the saying, what happens in our house stays in our house. But what happens when we refuse? What happens when we say, no, I don't want to be silent anymore? And we finally decide to start to speak our truth, no matter what, no matter who gets upset, no matter who gets uncomfortable. Recently, I was reminded of how deep silence runs. I got a call yesterday. I wasn't expecting this call. I haven't spoken with this person in a while, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to answer. Um, but I did. Well, no, I didn't answer. I called her back. It was my mom, who, again, we all know was one of my abusers. She was a big trigger for me. And when I called her back, because, she call me. I didn't answer. I was actually in an important meeting. So I was like, I can call her back if it's important. I kind of had a feeling she had been drinking. And my sister texted me, Mom wants you to call her. Call her. So I called her. And I hadn't spoken to her, so I didn't really know what to expect. And when someone is always a trigger, um, their words can still carry a lot of weight, and you have to learn how to protect yourself because they can open up old wounds. But there was a part of me that still hoped that my mom, maybe she's not drunk, maybe she's sober. Um, I hope that maybe this time it would be different, and that the conversation wouldn't turn into her doing what she normally does, making me feel guilty, blaming me for stuff, gaslighting me, and that for once I wouldn't be made to feel like I was just a villain in the story of my life. And for a long time, she blamed me for the things that happened to me. That hope was basically thrown in the trash because almost immediately the conversation turned to her, making her little comments. Of course, it turned into accusations, and then of course I'm the problem again. Um, I was the one that she blamed for putting my stories out there, making her look bad. And in reality, all I've really ever have done since I've been on this platform is share my stories, my experiences, my pain. But I'm always the one that's to blame. And like always, the focus was not ever on what happened, but how me expressing my feelings made her feel. And that's the thing about people who don't want to face the truth. They will do anything to deflect it. They will do anything to shift the blame. They will do anything to turn the attention away from their own actions. And in the process, they try to make you doubt yourself. They want to make you think, am I the bad guy? Am I wrong for sharing my story? Am I wrong for, not being silenced? But I'm done questioning myself. I'm done second guessing myself. And I'm not going to shrink myself down anymore. I don't want to have to make myself feel comfortable so that others can deal with themselves and be happy. They don't have to sit in their own guilt. That's over for me. For anyone who wants to run back and tell her what I'm saying, go ahead. If anybody hears this and, I'm sorry, maybe her hearing this will allow her to grow. That's what I hope. I'm hoping that if she hears my story, maybe it'll help her decide she needs to get the help. That will help her understand that she needs to get help. But she may not. Let's not forget when I needed help, I was alone. I was alone. But what I will not do, what I will not ever do again is allow myself to be silenced. I will keep speaking. I will keep sharing. I will keep showing up for myself. I will keep speaking the truth. And for every survivor who has been told to sit down and shut up, open your mouth, speak your truth because we all deserve to be heard. And that's exactly why I am so honored to have my next guest, Miss KLove, on the show. She is a fierce advocate. She's a storyteller. She is someone who knows firsthand what it means to fight for your voice. And as a speaker and co host for Open Letters to Survivors, I love you, sisters. She has dedicated herself to creating a space for survivors where everyone can share their stories without fear, without shame, without having to apologize. And today we're going to have a conversation about breaking the cycle, about reclaiming that power, and what it means to stand on your truth, no matter who gets upset, because our voices matter, our stories matter, and we are not going anywhere. So let's dive in, Miss Kim, Miss KLove. I'm going to pull you
Hey.
in. Hi. We get started. I
Okay.
love you so much. You look just like my cousin Lynn.
Ah!
Every time, and you act like her too. So every time we interact, I get a this is my cousin.
Oh,
You are like a twin version of her.
they say we got twins everywhere, so
So I mean, she looks exact, except for she's a lot shorter. She's a little more crazy. I'm just playing. I love you. I love you. So, Miss K Love, thank you so much again for joining us today. How are you? I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties with that link. Thank you so much for being patient. Oh my goodness, I'm still learning this new system. I love it, but I'm still learning it.
listen,
So
you're not alone. I'm still
bear with
learning
me, bear with me.
technologies across the board, period. So I hate checking my
This
daggone
is not our
emails.
it's not our
So
age. I'm still trying to get used to these text messages, but it's okay. We gonna get it. We gonna get through tonight. So let's just go ahead and dive in, Miss K Love. Can you take us back to your early years and what were some of the signs or moments that led you to the situation? And just kind of talk us through your journey. I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna give you this floor. Go right on
All
ahead.
right. Someone cracking a joke saying KLove is short. Yes, I am average height. Let's get that correct. Okay, 5'3.25". Yeah. I'm proud of my height because everybody in my family is tall. And so I ended up being the runt of the family, I guess. But the story begins, I will say, as a very young child, because I've experienced sexual assault and domestic violence. And at a very young age, my neighbor, who was like a family member, who were my brother's closest friend, so they were teenagers at the time, became enamored with me, if you will. And I was only like 4 or 5 years old, and started to, in his opportunities to be alone with me, fondle me. And as time progressed and he had more opportunities to be with me alone, he took it to another level and started penetrating me. And not just with his hands, he went even further. So because I was a quiet young girl and I always was taught to respect my elders, even though he wasn't my elder per se, but he was an older boy, he always made it like, this is our secret. You're my special princess, so on and so forth. And so I became curious about some things that he was doing to me. And I had a conversation with my mother out of just, asking questions. And it started from there. Black families didn't know how to handle such situations. They kept things quiet. What goes on in this house stays in this house. They were our neighbors. They were our second family. We lived at that time in a neighborhood that was a very prominent suburb, and it was a lot of Italians and Caucasians. So on our street at that time, it was only a few Blacks. And so we were being one of them, and then our neighbor next door. And so you almost felt like, well, we got to stick together, So my mom and my dad were church people. I grew up in church. So they just sheltered me. They dealt with him. He could no longer come over. At least that's, what it seemed like, because I really never knew what the heck happened. I never fully understood what was going on. And so as I get older, not really understanding or knowing that what he did was wrong and how it actually affected me, I had no time to process it. I didn't know that my innocence had been tainted. And here we move forward, I'll catapult into my early adulthood days where I was dating someone. And, you think, you infatuated with somebody and you're young and you think you may love this person and so on and so forth. He's so cute and, he's so manly. I was dating a young gentleman who was being trained to become a professional boxer. I was never a loose girl. I liked him and I trusted him. I felt safe around him. But I was not interested in having sex. And so this was my first experience of someone forcing themselves on me and then tossing me around like a rag doll because I was refusing him. So he's a boxer. I had no defenses other than what my brothers had taught me. So here I'm hanging in there with this guy, and he's twice my size and 3 times my strength. And he's literally picking me up by my neck and throwing me across the room. because I denied him some sex. And so luckily, he was living in a house with an older couple, and he rented a room out, and they heard the commotion. And I ain't gonna lie, I got a few licks in, but I knew I couldn't beat this man, but I wasn't gonna go out without a few punches, you know. And so the older couple came up, and they broke us up, and they made us leave. And so we left. And this man bullied me the entire time after that, calling. And we were walking down the street, and he's pushing me and calling me out my name and all kinds of stuff like that. And so that situation passed. And then I get a little older. And then I come across another gentleman who I thought, you know, sweet, cute, nice, all of that good stuff. And he was a friend of a friend. And he invited me over and made it sound as though it was going to be other people at the house. And we come over, have a little party and watch TV, watch movies and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Because I knew him and I thought he was a friend. And I get there, no one's there but me. And his brother was in the other room. He introduced me to his brother. And then we went into his room, and he was like, no worries, you know, other people will be showing up, but we could get started. We can watch a movie or whatever while we wait. That was the trick. It wasn't no other people coming. He had a plan, and I just didn't know it. And so one thing led to another. He's on top of me, and he's taking full advantage of me, and I couldn't fight him off. Now, unfortunately, from that, I became pregnant. But I lost that baby. So at that point, I'm still young, still believing in love and thinking, you know, somebody, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to keep trying. You know, I'm not going to lose out on love because I deserve love. I watched my mother and father, you know, be married and love each other. And so that was what I wanted. And so moving forward, I meet another gentleman. I'm in college. He's an intellectual, you know, up and up. So, you know, these spirits come in all kinds of faces, shades and sizes, but it's the same spirit. And so, again, trusting him, loving him, caring for him. And the relationship just went south. And I was not prepared for it. And we had an argument. And next thing I know, he's choking me. I mean, like literally lift me up off the floor, and he's choking me up against the wall. And my feet are dangling. And I'm like gasping for air, and I'm trying to dig his eyes out in hopes that he would release me. And then eventually, when he realized what he was doing, he did. He dropped me. I got up and I ran. I ran and I ran and I ran, and I got away. And then he called later and said, I don't know what came over me. I'm sorry. Yeah. I didn't expect that from you. You're a highly intellectual man. Why would you do such a thing to me? You know, and so there was more to that relationship than we could have say for another day. So, but I got away from that. I moved on because he was one of those, because he was intellectual, he was verbally abusive. And I didn't even know that that was such a thing. You know, people argue, but I didn't think that it was abuse. You know, I just thought that was the norm. You know, I heard my parents argue. I heard my parents fight. So I said, you know, that's just part of being in a relationship with someone. So I didn't know that, no, some of the things that's being said and done to you is not normal, and it is abuse. So I moved on and got into another relationship. And this was my most recent one. thinking that, I've dodged bullets and I'm okay, and I'm open to fall in love again, you know. Well, I fell in love with a narcissist, gave him off and on 16 years of my life, and didn't realize the spell that I was under, didn't understand what a narcissist was. I don't even think we had a term for it at the time, but he was emotionally abusive. And, it was never his fault. There was never an issue with him. It was everybody else, and here I'm doing everything I can to be a good girlfriend, to be supportive, to be loving and kind, trying to be understanding. But I wasn't crazy. I said, now all of this can't be on me. The reason this relationship isn't working, the reason that you keep lying and cheating, no, this can't be true. This can't be me. So in the midst of us breaking up, I move on. I'd had enough. He went and found somebody else and moved on with her and got married, and that was it. And so now I meet somebody else a couple of years later after that, and he seemed so genuine, very caring, very loving, very understanding. He was supportive of me when my brother passed away. He was just there. And then he was there all the time. And so you just never know when you're vulnerable and how you open yourself up to somebody. And here they are in your face, calling you and talking to you all the time, wanting to be around you, wanting to be with you. And you thinking, oh, wow, this is nice. Somebody really wants me. Somebody really wants to care for me and be there for me. And here I go into this relationship, and we get to know each other a little bit more. And then things start happening to where, we feel like, well, let's take this to another level. Well, I would encourage anyone, no matter how you think you're feeling about somebody, take your time and pay attention to the flags. We all are walking around with a banner. I don't care what you think. So there's signs. We just have to pay attention, not be so quick to jump in with both feet, not be so quick to go head first. Just take your time. What's the rush? Yeah, we don't know what the world is doing and what the next day is going to hold for us. So sometimes we feel like we're fighting against time. No. Time is going to do what time going to do. So you need to just take your time and understand who you are, where you are in your life, what you want, what you need, what you don't want, what you don't need. And because I was vulnerable at the time, because I was grieving of losing family members and being alone, being by myself, he was just there. Bam, perfect timing for him, but not for me. And so as the relationship progressed, I started noticing his mood swings and, like, well, what's wrong with you? Because I know I didn't cause you to have a bad day, and as it turned out, he had mental issues and he was masking it with drugs. So now I got a mental ill individual with addiction. So with all of that, then I understood him saying certain things. He was verbally abusive. And I was just snapping right back at him, like, nah, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. Nah. But I didn't realize he was building. He was getting, more and more aggravated. His situation wasn't turning around. And he was just becoming worse and worse. And he would do things to try to control my whereabouts, or take the keys to my car so I couldn't leave him, as he would say, or always wanting to know who I'm with and what I'm doing. And it was just so much controlling because he was out of control. And then there was a time where we were on the freeway, and he was so upset about a situation that I had no control over that he grabbed the steering wheel to the car and tried to kill us both on the freeway. That put me into a panic attack. We got to our next destination, and I fussed at him for that. I'm like, what is you doing? Why are you doing this? And he's like, I just want us to die. Us? Where's this coming from? He says, I think about it all the time. You think about it all the time? So I was like, Jesus, help me, Lord, please. Because this one right here is different. I didn't have these other ones in the past, but this right here is different. And I couldn't wrap my mind around it. How did I miss it? How? After all I've already been through. And I'm moving fast through these relationships because trust me, each of them was their own separate onion with a lot of layers. But this one right here took me for a different loop because I was trying to be understanding of the fact that he had a mental disorder. And I was supporting him. I took him to his doctor's appointments, made sure he got his shot, his medicine, and whatever else he may have needed. Counseling. I went to counseling with him and so on and so forth. But if a person isn't ready to heal thyself, there's nothing you can do. And when I saw the writing on the wall, I said, Lord, I got to get out of this because he is going to hurt one of us, if not both of us. And I've already been through being hurt physically. I've already been through being hurt emotionally and mentally. I can't do this anymore. And the Lord told me that this one's going to be a hard one to get out of. And so one particular night, I come home and he had access to my home and all of my stuff that could be sold or given away or whatever was gone, just gone. And he tried to make it like it wasn't him, but I knew instantly it was him. Found a police report and everything. Gave him a chance to come clean. And I said, you know what? Give me my key back. You got to get out of here. You can't stay here. I don't want you here. I don't even want to look at you right now. And the argument came because he felt like, how dare I ask him to leave? How dare I try to end this relationship? We promised to be here for each other. And we were a year and a few months in. So I just said, I can't. The level of disrespect and the different things that you're doing lets me know that I can't help you. And I'm not going to lose myself in this relationship trying to help you. I can love you. I can pray for you. You know, I can be your friend, but that's it. And I said, and if you choose not to leave my home, I'm going to call the police. Why I say that? That was the trigger for him to feel like he had to lay hands on me. And he did it like a snake, a little sneak move. He walked up towards me. And I'm like telling him, I'm going to call the police if you don't leave on your own will. And as soon as he got close enough, he snatched my phone, immediately put his hands to my throat and flung me down on the floor. And it was on top of me, choking me. And I could not move. I was paralyzed. I was frozen. And I'm looking at him and the room is starting to get dark. I'm beginning to faint. And I'm praying, Lord, you told me this wasn't going to be an easy exit. But please, Lord, don't let this be my last day on earth. Don't let me go out like this. And he was yelling at me, don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. Everybody leaves me. Don't you give up on me. And I looked at him and I did a slow blink. And then I was on my way out because I can't even tell you how long It was. And he got off. He got off of me. He looked at my face and he got off of me. And from that, I was able to trick him into going outside and taking some things into my car, taking some things out of my car and into the house. And I jumped in the car and went to the police. And I went through the court proceedings. He got arrested the next day. I had to go to emergency and get checked out. They wouldn't let me leave until they knew that everything was okay, because being choked out can cause damage that you may not notice until a day or two later. And they wanted to make sure that no blood vessels was broken, my trach and my neck had no other injuries internally, because I had bruises on my face and on my neck. So he was arrested, and he stayed in jail for a couple of weeks. We went to court, and the courts failed me. The judge that took over the case allowed him out on his own personal bond. He didn't have any money, so he was never going to pay that bond. And he'd been in jail before, so he knew the system. He knew how to work the system. He would say whatever he needed to say to make them feel like, yeah, I got a problem, I'm gonna go get some help. But he had no intentions on doing that. And unfortunately, I got a protective order so that he could not come into my home. And but he was always around. He was always in the neighborhood of my house. I would see him on the streets. One day I passed by him. He looked me dead in my face. And I went, and he was at the corner of my street. I went straight to the police station, and they said to me, and this happened a few different times, but the police treated me like I was the criminal. And I showed them my protective order, and it was in another city, another municipality. So they says, well, we can call them, but they're probably not going to come and get him if we pick him up. And I'm like, well, can we try? And we went through all of that back and forth. And it was his actual birthday. And so the one cop was like, you really going to do this to him on his birthday? I'm sorry. This is a domestic violence case and a grand theft case because of all the stuff he stole from me. I said, so why does it matter if it's his birthday or not? Why should I care about it being his birthday? And they said to me, well, we'll send a squad out as soon as we get one available. So that meant never. And another time it happened, he was in my neighborhood at the corner of my street, and I called the police for advice. I said, what are my rights? What should I do? They came out. Now this time they treated me a little differently. The dispatcher was a female. She understood my situation, and she sent me the sheriff and the lieutenant and another officer out. And they approached him, asked him what he was doing, why was he over here, and he acted like he didn't know nothing about what they was talking to him about. Why was they questioning him, and so on and so forth? Because they were protecting me and not saying my name and that I was the one that called. And so the other officer came to me and asked me a few questions. Did he approach you? Did he say anything to you? Was he combative or showing you any type of aggression or anything like that? And I said, no, I had to be honest. And they says, well, we can't pick him up, but let me see if he has any warrants. And lo and behold, the city that held him for 2 weeks, the judge who said he was sending out a warrant, the judge who said he was going to put A tracker on his ankle, a GPS tracker, did none of that. I found out that I was just out here unprotected by the courts. And if he wanted to come to my house, he easily could. And by the time I am able to call 911, he would have already done some damage. So I just, I felt some kind of way. I had to move. And I'm still to this day, I'm going to therapy for a number of different things. Because therapy is good. You got to get your therapy. You got to. We can heal. We can move forward. We can get past situations and circumstances. But there are times when you need to get deep and talking to someone about your issues. And I realized that I was anxious all the time. I couldn't sleep well. And everything that had ever happened to me from my past was hitting me in my face. And I said, I'm going to survive this. I'm not going to walk around in fear. I'm not going to be angry at the world. I'm not going to be a bitter Black woman. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to learn what I have to do to survive domestic violence and sexual abuse. And I have to say, I'm still healing, but it's in motion. It's a continual thing that just doesn't happen overnight, because you got to dig deep within yourself and allow some things to come up and out. And so that's where I am today. I am an advocate for people who have been abused, whether it's sexual or violence, domestic violence. Abuse is abuse, whether it's verbal, physical, emotional, sexual, and even financial. So I am definitely doing my due diligence to talk to people. I'm so happy to be a part of the team to open letters to a survivor. Yes, all my sisters, the fierce, well, what are we now? This sensational
We are the sensational
six
six.
now. Yes. Just
Lady Poet had to fix that name. She had to fix that name.
right. Because we growing. And it's about telling your truth, being open and allowing yourself to be vulnerable about your situations and circumstances. Because guess what? You're not the only one. Other people have gone through the same situation. So don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. If you start talking about it, if you start letting it out, guess what? Healing is a coming. Healing is a coming. You are going to get healed because you survived it. So nothing else could be coming your way but healing. And along with your healing, you develop confidence and love for yourself. You develop joy, peace. And that's all we ever really wanted. And then the love that you think you got to get from somebody else, you can start giving to yourself.
Right there. You done answered all my questions, Lady Kim. Well, KLove, I'm sorry. You done answered all my questions. Well, I only got one more question for you. How can anybody get a hold of you if they want to kind of get some of this knowledge and all these nuggets? That's
The
what y'all call
nuggets,
them, right? The
yeah,
nuggets.
yeah.
I gotta get that word right. How can they get a hold of you?
Well,
How can
they
reach you?
definitely can reach out to me to open letters to a survivor.org. You can email us. And if you want to say something to me specifically, or if you need help from me, or just a kind word, or some steps to do to take care of yourself, I can encourage you. I can love on you. And then I can tell you the different things that I've gone through to heal thyself. And you have to understand you're not alone. We are here. We are out here. And there are other people out here who are just like you, and they are making it. They are doing it. They are getting past their
Yes, we
yes,
are.
that's who we are, and that's that's where we are right now. Just like we was talking at the beginning of the show when we said I look like your cousin. Well, guess what?
Just
Some of
like
us
us.
have the same stories of our life. We mirror our life experiences. So with all of that, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. I will connect with you. One of my sisters will connect with you, and we will get you the resources that you need to get healed, to get happy, to find your peace, to find who you are, you know, and allow us to love on you. It's all about love, baby. I'm a 70s baby. I'm loving being in love. That's what got me in trouble. But you got to just know, that's all. You got to know the snakes from the real deal. That's all.
Right. Take your time, like she said. Ain't no hurry. Take your time, because that's what our problem be. We see you, we love you. Oh my God, we want you. Our hearts get so big, and then it's just so. Just take your time. You know, if it's men,
That's
he ain't going nowhere,
right.
or she or they. You know, whatever you identify as. Oh my goodness. Well, KLove, thank you so much. I love talking to you all the time. I'll be missing you. I still owe you some food. So I knew this was gonna be a good one. Thank you so much, so much, so much for sharing your story, being who you are for me, because this Sensational Six, they don't know what they've done for me. So thank you so much personally for allowing me in your life and in your sisterhood and loving on me, because y'all, when she said they love on you, she's not playing. Tough love too now, because if you're acting a
Yeah.
fool, they will tell you, hey, get it together. Let's get it together.
Hey, real love is
Love.
honest. Whether you like the truth or not,
Honest.
that's what we're gonna feed you, the truth.
And that's why I still deal with them, because that's all I've gotten is love, real, genuine love. And I love y'all back so
Aw,
much.
yes,
So
honey.
thank you so much for being on the
You are so
show.
welcome. Hey, fam, I see my family. Hey, Lucy Lou.
So,
Hey, Amanda. I love y'all.
oh, there we go. I'm missing all the comments. I'm sorry, Miss Lucy. I didn't see you on there. I love you too, sis. She gonna be on the show too. I'm telling you, sensational. We're gonna have a sensational six on Insights of a Survivor. We're gonna have all six of us on here. You're gonna meet all my
Yes.
sisters. So that's gonna be a fun night. So I'm going to get the show shut down for the night. But if you want to get on, or we can, because we're gonna talk after this anyway. Either way, how be fine with me.
Can I add one more thing?
You can add anything,
I
sis.
just want to acknowledge that these type of abuses that I talked about tonight doesn't just happen to women. Doesn't just happen to
Sure, right.
children.
No.
They happen to men too.
Fellas, we here for you too.
Absolutely. My brothers,
Come
I don't
on.
care what color you are. If you a man and you've been abused, sweetheart, we here for you. We got
And
you.
this non-judgment, no judgment.
Absolutely. You ain't got to be tough. Men have feelings. It's okay to cry.
Yes, they do.
It's okay to be angry, but get you some help.
Exactly.
Some help.
Thank you for saying that, sis.
Yeah. I don't ever want the men to feel left out. And that's why we're doing our special show in June.
In June.
Yes. In June.
Y'all get to meet some people in my family. My husband said he was gonna be a part of it. We gonna see.
Yes. He gonna do it. He gonna do it.
He gonna do it. He gonna do it. I don't beat him, y'all. We don't do that here. But he here to support his brothers. So thank you so much, KLove. KLove, I done said your real name about 8 times, so I love you, Miss Kim. So I'm gonna go ahead and thank you guys all for coming out. And I'm going to do my little. You can stay on. I'm gonna stay right. You stay right there. That's okay.
What you says.
So, Miss Kim had an incredible, powerful story today, and I want to take a moment to acknowledge KLove for sharing that story with us, because honestly, you have no idea. I've had those blackout nights where I didn't think I was gonna make it because I'm getting choked, and I didn't, So everything she's saying is resonating, because those are things that we've had to live through, unfortunately, And it takes courage for her to come on here and share this story. Surviving is one thing, but standing and speaking
Yeah.
in your truth, speaking, that's what I'm saying. Don't silence yourself. That helps others. That helps others find a way to find a whole new level of strength. So anyone listening tonight, if her words touched you, or you may still be in the place of fear, feeling trapped, or wondering if it's even possible for you to heal, please know you are not alone. I'm gonna say this every week. You're not alone. You're not broken, beyond repair. I don't care how many times you've been knocked down, how many times you've been choked, how many
Yeah.
times you've been beaten. You still have power to
Yeah.
rise. This is exactly why I do what I do. This is exactly why Miss Kim, Open Letters to a Survivor, all of my sisters, my sensational six. That's
Yeah.
why we do what we do. Our mission is to help survivors, give them a space to be seen, heard, and to be reminded of their strength and to acknowledge your mental health. Open Letters to a Survivor is really big about
Yes.
mental health. So that's kind of really important. And through all of our podcasting, our coaching, the events, our books, because we all have books, platforms that we created for ourselves. No one has to suffer in silence because healing is a journey that no one has to do alone. I thought I had to do it alone, you guys. I met these women 2, 3 months ago, and I swear they're not gonna. They think they're gonna leave me.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Green eggs and ham. No, ma'am.
So no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So if today's conversation did touch you and you're looking for a place to grow, come out to my event tomorrow. You're going to see Miss KLove, Miss Lady
Yes.
Poet, Miss Lucy, my sister, all of us, the Sensational Six, Miss Kayla.
Cassandra.
I don't know Cassandra's stage name. I don't know
Yes.
her stage name. I don't know
Uh,
any of their stage names, you guys.
lady,
But
Kiss
Miss
Coach.
Cassandra.
She coach.
Kiss Coach. I love you, Kiss Coach. So that's going to be tomorrow, March 8th and 9th, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're still getting the time zones together, but Central Standard Time, even though the time changes tomorrow, I guess it's not going to be 9 Central Standard Time. Well, it's going to be 9 Central Standard Time. We're going to make it work. I forgot about the time change on Sunday. um, I hope to see you all there because this event is dedicated to celebrating, not selling. No, we don't do that. Celebrating women's resilience, breaking free from fear, and stepping in the power of
Right.
their stories. It's a space for empowerment, connection, and transformation, and you
Right.
really won't want to miss it. And for those who are even ready to take it even deeper, take it a little deeper, I'm gonna be having a summit, not a summit, a retreat in Costa Rica. That's where I'm gonna feed Miss Kim because she's coming out here. This is where I live, to Costa Rica. And it's Roots of Resilience, a journey to an empowerment retreat. And it's designed to help women reclaim their power. And it's going to be an immersive environment. And if it sounds like you, consider joining us for this experience, okay? Before I close out, though, I want to make sure that everyone has, because, again, we had this trigger warning. It was going to be something that could cause you to need some help. So don't be afraid to reach out. And if you don't want to reach out to us, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They keep you anonymous. It's 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or you can visit them at thehotline.org. And if anyone who's dealt with any type of rape, sexual assault was discussed in this, unfortunately. Rape, abuse, and incest national network, 1-800-656-HOPE, 1-800-656-4673. No one is ever alone, and support is always available. So please don't ever think you have to do it alone. And my final words of encouragement, because y'all know we like to talk. So that anyone who's ever felt powerless, let this be a reminder that your past does not define you. It does not define your future. It does not define your identity. Your pain does not define your identity. You are more than you've been through. You are a survivor. You are a warrior. And you have the right to step into life filled with peace, joy, and purpose. So keep fighting for yourself and choosing me, because that's what I did. I fight for myself. That's what Miss KLove did. She fought for herself.
Yeah.
And she chose herself.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for anyone who showed up for this conversation. If the episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your voice and your story and your healing matters. Like this, like my content, share my content. It's all about healing. It's all about love. And until next time, keep rising, keep thriving, keep believing in yourself. You are stronger than you know. And Miss KLove, can you please give them that open letter to Survivor? I forgot the last one. It says, we rise together.
We rise together and we heal together.
Is it we rise? We rise together and we heal together. That's exactly. We rise together, we heal together, and I love you all. Thank you so much for coming out, and you guys have a great,
Yes,
great
thank you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Mwah.
It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back.